All right, so you're thinking about buying a new home. So let's talk about the pros and cons of buying new construction. We'll first talk about the pros, and then we'll discuss new construction's downside. This show is brought to you by Sachs Realty Education. Here you can find my Todd Simple Home Buying course. It's self-paced, packed with insider secrets, teaching home buyers how to save potentially tens of thousands of dollars when buying a home and how to avoid costly mistakes. You'll get worksheets, sample contracts, resource guides, and more. The link is pinned in the comments below. So you can guess, number one is everything is new. One of the pros of buying new construction is being able to actually enjoy the house without spending money on repairs and replacement costs. Your appliances are new. You have a new heating and air system. Your water heater's new, a brand new roof, new energy efficient windows and doors. Literally everything is brand new. And I always tell people that you should expect when you buy a new house that you wouldn't have to really spend any money on repairs or replacements for about 5 or 7 years, unless that is you destroy your house. Or if you want to do things like landscaping upgrades or redo something more to your specific liking. Now, most builders offer home warranties that typically cover everything from the foundation to the roof during that first year. And then they also offer structural warranties that usually covers the foundation, your trusses, the actual structural part of the house for 5 or 10 years. Now, new construction is built to current building codes, so this should mean a much safer house. And through the years of construction, these inspectors, or through things happening like, unfortunately, homes catching fire by bad wiring and burning down to the ground, a lot of the safety features of a newly constructed home have been upgraded through the years. And that includes, like I said, the electrical system. You now have interconnected smoke detectors or CO2 detectors that where if something's happening, let's say in the basement and you're asleep at 2 o'clock in the morning, your smoke detector in your room will also go off. So they're interconnected, again, making for a much safer home. Another benefit of buying new construction is that a lot of these new builders often provide money-saving incentives for you to buy a home versus one of their competitors. And many builders own their own mortgage companies as well, and they can really control or discount the mortgage rate, which changes your monthly payment. For example, if headline mortgage rates are, let's say, 6%, the builder who owns their own mortgage company may offer you a mortgage of something like 3.9%, saving you on your monthly payment. Builders may also offer you cash for closing costs, and this helps people with the out-of-pocket expense. Maybe you'll be able to save a little bit more of your money to buy new furniture. They also offer free upgrades. Now, depending on whether they're slow, at the time of making this video, we're going through a really low volume of home sales, especially in new construction. So as the builders are going through times where they're not selling a whole lot of houses, they offer you even more upgrades. And this could include stone countertops like granite instead of a laminate, or higher-end appliances, finished basements, upgraded flooring like luxury vinyl plank instead of the cheap builder-grade carpeting that they typically install. Keep in mind that they would rather give you things for your home or offer you cheaper finance than they would rather do that than drop the price of the actual home, though they are doing that now. But when they drop prices, they really upset the apple cart with everybody else in the community that's either signed a contract waiting on delivery of their home, or their home buyers that have bought prior to any of these price cuts. Screws them when they go to sell their house. Another reason to buy new construction is people love amenities, right? So these are common enticements that the builders in their community offer that could include a clubhouse that you could rent out for a small fee to have a party for your friends, or swimming pools, gyms, pickleball courts, walking trails, and more. Most new communities attract home buyers by offering more of a lifestyle for their homeowners. And another big advantage to buying new construction is there are no bidding wars. So if you've ever looked at a home, an existing home, and that drove a lot of people to new construction, and were told, well, it's multiple offer situation, continue to go up, and the price for this terribly maintained home for example, new construction is no bidding wars. If the lot is available that you like and you can pick one of their floor plans that you can afford with the accessories that you would like, here's the price. Take it or leave it. It's absolutely stress-free when it comes to that. So like I said, existing homes, a lot of people go and see these houses the day one on the market. That's the highest exuberance. They go to the open house or they see the house with their agent. They fall in love with that existing house, all the upgrades that the sellers did while they lived in the home. And then they find out, well, you can't afford it. You have to continue to outbid yourself because multiple people want the same house. And when you're dealing with that existing home, you never really have the peace of mind when you overpaid for it in a multiple bid war, because you end up giving up rights like your home inspection. By the way, on new construction, I want you to get home inspections by third parties as well. But in these existing home sales, most of the buyers that have bought, especially during the pandemic period, waived their inspection rights. So they realized that there was so much more wrong with the house that you're not going to have to worry about when you buy that new construction. Now let's talk about some of the downsides. And again, I'm only covering some of these that people don't even think about when they're going into that new development. And one of the cons of buying new construction is that your contract that you will sign with the home builder is completely one-sided. When you use a realtor to buy an existing house, we have access to the association provided contracts. They are written by attorneys for the associations, and they actually really do provide fairness to both the buyer and the seller in the transaction within the same contract. A builder contract looks out for them, period, the end. So you should always read any contract you're signing, but take your time, especially when you're reading that builder contract, to know exactly how that builder is protected. Now, many builder contracts will promise you a home delivery in about 4 or 5 months, but their contract may say that they have up to 2 years to deliver you a home. The builders may also be able to force you to settle despite any unresolved issues that you may have with the quality of the home once completed. The first thing they'll tell you when you complain about something wanting to push back settlement until it's resolved is, hey, this house passed its final inspection with the county or the city, and it's passed our own inspection process by our quality control guy, and you need to close or you will be in default and lose your deposit. And how they handle it is they say, you know what, don't worry about it. We'll fix this issue or we'll make you happy on this issue, but we're going to do it after it closes because it's covered under that 1-year warranty foundation to roof. So what happens, you may say that's no big deal, but once you move all of your furniture into the house, the last thing you want is more dust and contractors coming in and out. So when you're dealing with the new builders, it's going to be really cut and dry. It's their business, right? And they're used to people having remorse and wanting to back out or complain. All you have to do is look at builders' reviews to find that out. But when you're dealing with that new construction, if something happens, like a life event or something occurs in your life where you can no longer move forward, you lose your job, the contract will probably say that you'll lose your deposit. And by the way, when you're buying new construction, your deposit that you put down is really hefty. Unlike when you're putting an offer on an existing home, it may only be 1% for that existing home. Maybe if you're buying a $500,000 house, your earnest money deposit will be $5,000. You don't pay the rest until you close. If you're buying that same $500,000 new construction, your down payment might be $15,000 or $18,000 or more. So that's something to keep in mind. Another big possible downside is that your mortgage payment could go up before settlement. We saw this happen recently when mortgage rates went from 2.75% to over 8% in a very short period of time. So most mortgage lenders will offer you a lock-in on a mortgage rate. Unfortunately, those lock-ins are only typically for 30 or 60 days. And like I said, if you're having a new home built, it could take much longer than this. Now, lenders will also provide longer rate locks, but they will cost you money to do so. So you should ask your builder and your lender what that would look like. So just to clarify, a lot of people sign contracts and put big deposits down on homes that once those rates started going up, they no longer financially qualified for, or they were uncomfortable with their new payment, being the rate was much higher when their home was completed. And a lot of these buyers panicked and backed out, losing their deposits. Now, let's just stay on the rate lock for a minute, because you're probably thinking to yourself, well, that's great. I'll just find a lender. I'll lock my rate in while it's low. But what if rates drop and you're locked in to a longer term period where you would now have to have that higher percentage rate in an environment where rates could be much lower? I teach this in my Todd Simple Homebuyer course. One of the things you want to make sure when you're dealing with any mortgage company that locks in your rate, that's great if rates are going to go up. But when rates fall, you want to make sure that they will offer you a free one-time float down. And basically, it's just like it sounds. They will allow you one time to take a lower rate and lock that lower rate in, and they don't charge you money to do that. Some lenders may try. I call that a junk fee. And so you want to make sure that your lender will offer you a free rate float down one time. Now let's talk about cutting corners, because builders like to do this. If it's not a code requirement, they aren't usually doing it. So for example, comfort is something that's really important to me when I'm at home. And what I mean by that is I like to have a consistent temperature throughout my entire home. And I have found that second floor areas are poorly designed for heating and cooling systems in most new construction. If the second floor is not separately zoned or partitioned in the ductwork with dampers, and a way to find that out is ask how many thermostats you get. So if you have a thermostat on the second floor and a thermostat on the first floor, that is a good sign in maintaining the comfort between the two floors, because heat rises. And you will find in many people, even growing up, this has been an ongoing issue for decades, right? And you may have grown up in a house where you're like, man, people downstairs are freezing just to get the cooler air to the upstairs, and there's like a 10-degree difference between the floors. Well, you would think in today's modern technology that these builders would care about that, but they don't, right? They usually just put one central return in the hallway somewhere upstairs, because that's all they're required to do. But when you're buying an existing home, a lot of times during the remodel process, so if it's a 30, 40, or 50-year house that's been completely remodeled, those existing owners have already considered that. They were sweating upstairs while people were freezing, and when they renovated, they redesigned the heating and air system. They spent more money to be more comfortable in their home. So check with your builder, that new construction, ask them, do you put returns in each bedroom, or is there only one return in the hallway upstairs? Now, what they will probably tell you, so just be prepared, they will say, oh, it's no problem. We put a central return in the hall, and then over the door, we cut these pass-throughs. So they put these silly vent covers on basically a hole, so that if you close your bedroom door at nighttime, it can still suck the hot air out of your room. It's crap. Believe me, it doesn't work that way. Most people that live in houses that are designed this way in the middle of the summer or in hotter climates simply don't close their bedroom doors. They sleep with their bedroom doors open. Another downside to buying in a new construction zone is dust and noise. When your new home is being constructed, you may not realize that you really annoyed your next door neighbor that's already moved in. Clean your car, it's dusty hours later. Clean your windows, same thing. New construction sites are full of dust and noise. You want to sleep in on a Saturday morning? Nope, not unless you can sleep through hammers, generators, compressors running in the background. Now, new communities can take literally years to build, and depending on when you buy, what phase they're in will determine, and the rate of sales, like right now in making this video, things are pretty slow. So it literally adds time to where people that have moved in have to deal with all of the construction. So be ready for dust, construction trucks, dumpster trucks, you name it, lots of noise. Some can't handle it. And then finally, most new communities are governed by the HOA, which stands for a homeowners association. You will be charged monthly fees called dues, and HOAs come with restrictive covenants telling you what you can and cannot do with your own property and a house. So make sure that you read the documents very carefully before signing the contract. HOAs can make your life miserable. People deliberately sell their homes because of HOA restrictions. So forget the initial monthly dues as well. When you're looking at it, they're like, oh yeah, well the monthly dues here are only $126 a month. Guess what? They may go up rapidly, sometimes by a lot. And you can also be required to pay special assessments for undercapitalized repairs or whatever the board feels like doing for that matter, and that they convince the majority to vote for. And you can also be fined by the HOA should you not be a good rule follower. Now, in most states, the downside is they can actually foreclose on your home if you fail to pay any of the monies that I just mentioned to your HOA. I have an awesome video covering the HOA in more detail, so check it out if you're considering moving into a house with an HOA. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the show so far. I just wanted to take a brief minute and share some exciting news. I have just released my new Todd Simple home buying course. This course is designed for anyone wanting to know how to buy a home. It's designed to take you through the entire home buying process from start to finish. You'll learn how to represent yourself should you want to avoid paying real estate commissions, the best ways to shop for a home, how to avoid costly mistakes, what to look for when touring a home, negotiation tactics, and so much more. In this home buying course, I hold nothing back. In fact, I would go to say that no one has uncovered the home buying process like I have. I've even made a way for you to gift this course to your family and friends. Visit saxrealty.education. The link is also pinned in the comments below. And I hope that this video was helpful to you, and if you thought that it was, you could hit that thumbs up. It's probably one of the only ways, unless you comment, that I'll realize that you like the video. And consider subscribing to our channel if you want to stay more up to date with everything real estate. And please share this video with your family and friends that you feel could learn something from this too. See you next time. Sachs Realty, Maryland broker number 607720, office number 443-318-4514, equal housing opportunity.